Hey, what's up everybody? How you guys doing, man? This is the Red Dog Extreme coming out with another video. Okay, quick video I really want to talk about is Celebrity Apprentice. There's been a lot of surprises from Celebrity Apprentice, and apparently it's been a total different reverse from Celebrity Apprentice. It's been the past two seasons I've watched, the women have been basically destroying the men. And they've been killing them out, like, with the numbers of wins, and it's just, been very surprising. So, last year, Celebrity Apprentice, the women just mostly dominated after the men did the selling challenge, and then the men came out on top last year, and then the women got the three other wins, and then the men were able to save themselves, but they failed to even it up. As the women came out on top in this country, as country singer Tim McGraw presented who the winner was, which was the ladies, which he said the ladies, and he did the job. Goldberg got fired, which wasn't a surprise at all because he was the project manager. I think Bret Michaels should have been the project manager apparently, but I didn't think that was the case. But anyway, I'll see how the year before. I remember with Brian McKnight, the men got one win, and the men just dominated the women, where Brian McKnight did his task, and he just did an excellent job. The men just easily defeated them, and that was their only win, which wasn't too much of a surprise. Furthermore, I have to say, this is the most surprising year we had. The men are coming out on top this year, which I never really expected, which I'm so excited about. The women are falling apart. And even though the men are just really struggling, I really want this to be evened up. And then, I don't know if Donald Trump will have to switch the teams, or I don't know what will happen. But surprisingly, the men are coming out on top. And, because, rock solid last year. They hit rock bottom, which I like Donald Trump's phrase. And then they had to switch the teams and add more people, which was apparently surprising to see only 2 men survive last year. And I was on the lacrosse team when the women were coming out on top, which is ironic. And I was on 2 losing teams of that lacrosse team. Which last year my lacrosse team was 6-7. The year before we only won 1 game, and I was on junior varsity. But ironically, that was a pretty shock for the men to really come out on top. I want to see how this goes out. I think the men are going to destroy the women, because I cannot believe Celebrity Apprentice, the men and the women wind up getting destroyed, basically. So, it wasn't like The Apprentice when it was been evened up. Like, they lost 2 people, and then the men came out on top on the last 2 tasks. And they were able to even it up, but Donald Trump decided to switch the teams anyway. But by the time it's 2-on-2, men and women, they decided to put back the men versus the women again, which was a great Apprentice. I gotta say, The Apprentice was one of the great apprentices I ever saw, in my opinion, because I didn't see the other ones before with the regular people, but this was the first one, and I think it was very great. I just thought Brandy from The Apprentice, not Celebrity Apprentice, not Brandy Roderick, the other Brandy, was kind of overrated, and I think she was a little bit overhyped. I think because she said something kind of helped her get on top to become winner of The Apprentice, which was kind of a big of a surprise, but I couldn't even see her get fired, really. I mean, it would be hard to get her fired, but I just thought her task with the suit thing was could have attracted a better audience, I have to say. It attracted a whole different crowd. I think it was ridiculous. This wasn't family oriented. I think that was where she botched right there. And David, I think, could have did a way better job. I think that's where he miserably botched. And I think he could have fit the right suit, and he wasn't well organized. I think that's how he got fired, pretty much. But Brandy one is what it is. But anyway, with Celebrity Apprentice, it turns out that the women are destroying the men, which was a pretty surprise, and I didn't even expect that. I mean, Meatloaf could have been fired. Gary Busey, I think, needs to be fired. I think it's time for him to go. Lil Jon, I think, could stick around a little bit longer. Meatloaf, I thought he would have a shot of getting fired, but I don't think that was the case. But Gary Busey, I think the men are getting on my nerves a little bit, but I'm glad they're on the winning end now instead of the losing end where they're getting dominated by the women. The women are continuing to fall apart, which is just plain ridiculous. And ever since David Cassidy left, it seems like they were trimming the fat. And I think that's the purpose of getting fired. So hopefully the women come out strong after Dion gets fired. Dion and David Cassidy are very similar. They take like random breaks. And David Cassidy doesn't take a break, but he winds up taking a break. And I think that's the purpose of him getting fired. I think that was the purpose. He deserved to get fired. And luckily enough, they didn't bring the three people back to the boardroom. And, you know, they haven't had that with the women except the last one with Lisa, which Lisa did flop miserably, which was surprisingly. But she did an excellent job. I think she did an excellent job, but, you know, I think she got pushed into project manager, but turned out she got fired, which was, I think I felt sorry for her. I think Star Jones should have just been the project manager. She should have got fired, apparently, but I'm surprised she's still sticking around. Dion, I don't think she should stick around. She's not Joan Rivers. I mean, it's like she's a random version of Joan Rivers, to say the least. You know, I thought, you know, Joan Rivers survived at 75 years old in Celebrity Apprentice. How did she survive at 75 years old? And she won the Celebrity Apprentice. She was the Celebrity Apprentice. And I gotta say, it'd be great for Dion and Joan Rivers if they were in the same Celebrity Apprentice, see how they would match up. Because Joan Rivers had so much wisdom. She had so much wisdom, and she knew how to carry, well, I don't know how to say this, but she knew how to carry her team so well. She was just pretty excellent. And she just knew how to keep up, which was just pretty surprising at her age, which was impressive. But Dion, I can't believe she failed to keep up. And I think it was time for her to go. It was pretty harsh to hear. I was hoping she'd make it far. But this year's Celebrity Apprentice is starting to look unpredictable. I think Star Jones could be the Celebrity Apprentice. In my opinion, and I think she may fight the sole survivor from the reality show Survivor. I forgot his name. He may make it far, or maybe Meatloaf. Meatloaf is so funny though, but no, John the country singer. I think John is gonna make it far. If you see his thinking, not Lil John. I forgot his last name, but I think he's gonna make it far. I think that he has so much wisdom and passion. He's similar to Star Jones. I think they may be evenly matched. So they make a great Celebrity Apprentice. Last year with Holly Robinson, Pete, and Bret Michaels, Holly Robinson just jobbed to Bret Michaels. Like, she just easily got destroyed by Bret Michaels, which Bret Michaels got hired. Actually, Bret Michaels, I'm starting to like Bret Michaels. I'm starting to warm up to him. He's just starting to grow on me. I don't know if I can say I have a guy crush on him, but that would just be very silly. But for the least of it, he's just very cool. And Bret Michaels, you know, I like his wisdom of thinking, his creativity. It's just plain incredible, I have to say. But yeah, moving on. This year, I think maybe John and Star Jones, I have to say. But I don't know how far Star Jones is going to go. But hopefully it's one of the women. Marley, I think, may have a shot at making this one. If she becomes project manager and she steps up, I think she may lead the team to victory. So hopefully she makes it far. I really don't want her to get fired. Not because she's deaf, but because I think she has some wisdom and I think she's very useful. So hopefully she makes it far. And on top of that, sorry, it's just a lot of random thoughts. You know, it's just very surprising because the men did not make it far last year, and Michael had to go. Oh my word, he had to go because of his issue with his son, which was just very, very, very surprising. So I don't know what's up that's going to be this year. I'll see how that goes. But Darryl Strawberry, remember last year, he got exhausted, and he just wanted to quit. He was just so exhausted, and that's why he got fired. So, but Dennis Rodman, when he was on Celebrity Apprentice, oh my word, he got fired on the spot. You have to say yes, the women won, but I'm gonna have to say to Dennis Rodman, to who left. Dennis Rodman, you're fired because he was just drinking on the job and he just left, which was just very, very surprising. But Brandy Roderick made it pretty far, and I have to say I was very impressed with her. I mean, she is a hot blonde, but yeah, I have so much respect for her for how she carried herself on the show, which was just very, very incredible. But yeah, anyway, I'll be excited what's going on this Sunday. I think Gary Busey he needs to go. Hopefully the men doesn't destroy the women again, and then the women just start falling apart. The women needs a win. I'm hoping they get a win, which will be so exciting. But the men's team, oh man, I'm not surprised they've been coming out on top. 3 wins in a row. Hopefully the women put an end to their losing streak, just like what the men did when they were. Where they put an end to their losing streak with the deodorant. The Funky Godfather was just funny, but Holland Robinson Pete did do the task right. Selena Banks, after her win, she got fired after her win, which was just oddly hilarious, to say the least. So, Nikki Taylor, I cannot believe how Nikki Taylor got fired, which was just ridiculous. I was really hoping that she would win. I was really hoping she would win. I was hoping Nene would win, but not Lil Jon. I didn't want Lil Jon to get fired. I have respect for this guy, because if they're on the season finale live, if they do have it live this year, I was hoping the East Side Boys are there to support Lil Jon. The East Side Boys, the Yin Yang Twins, LMFAO, E40, well, I don't know, all those rap groups. Yeah, the East Side Boys, Yin Yang Twins, that whole crew, maybe Ludacris or Usher. But even though that's ludicrous for Lil Jon to make it that far, I don't know how far Lil Jon will make it, but that would just be funny too. But hopefully the women get the next win. But Nikki Taylor, for her to step out like that was just a lot of character. I give a lot of respect for Nikki Taylor for doing something like this that she did before. But she is very pretty, I have to say. She's very pretty and so charming looking. Oh my word, it's like every guy should be like so attracted to her, I have to say. But yeah, I cannot believe she stepped out like that. I cannot believe she stepped out like that and got fired. But at least she showed a lot of character, which was just very surprising. And she did have a fit with Dion. I think Dion needed to go. I just wish that she made it far. Dion, I think she lacked a lot of potential. And then for her to step out on Donald Trump like that, Dion did just unbelievable. It's the complete opposite of what Nikki Taylor did. Nikki Taylor decided to be fired. The whole group walked out together, which was just totally odd. And that's what it turned out. And Nikki Taylor, cannot believe Nikki Taylor's team didn't win. They were a whole functional team. How did Nikki Taylor lose to a dysfunctional team of men, and the men were just plain annoying? And it's like, I really thought Gary Busey needs to be fired, and not Nikki Taylor. Like, Nikki Taylor should have stayed. I thought she would make it far, but that's not the case. I don't believe that. But in Lisa, for her to get thrown into as project manager, I think Lisa's team, could have won. But I cannot believe she lost to Meatloaf. But at least Meatloaf was doing a charity for children, which made it pretty ironic and pretty a coincidence, which was just very incredible. So, and Lil Jon's charity, I never knew what Lil Jon's charity was. I think Nene Taylor should have won. That way she could raise money for her abusive services, which, man, if Nene won, she could have helped out for abusive children. But I'm glad she's sticking around, because I think she earns a win. She needs to get a win sometime in the future for Celebrity Apprentice, because I think this abusive stuff is very tragic. LaToya Jackson, I don't know if she looks like Michael Jackson. I think that is Michael Jackson's sister, because I know Michael Jackson has 2 sisters, so I could see if that's true. Oh, sorry, something's wrong with my thing. So but yeah, she grew up in Michael's family. Yeah, her father was very mean. Michael Jackson's father was very mean. That's what I heard, because she used to come in, used to carry the animals around and stuff like that, and he's the coward. But Nene Taylor, man, to win. I'm glad they're sticking around. I'm glad it's still around. But man, I don't know how a dysfunctional team wins, especially on a camping task. Was just ludicrous. It's ludicrous for them to like how ludicrous it was for a men's team to win in a camping, and then last minute they just put something together and they still came out on top. It was just plain ludicrous. And even though I'm glad the men won, the men are dominating, but that was ludicrous for Nikki Taylor having to get fired. A well-functional women's team, they get fired. It also it was ludicrous for this week that they did a gay commercial. They did a gay commercial, and I thought it was like oddly oriented, but it was supposed to be. I thought it did something with emotion. It was family oriented. I thought the women win. I thought the women would be solid. They were gonna win and just blow the men out. That wasn't the case. When I heard that the men came out very close, I was shocked. I was very shocked that the men were able to come out close to the women. I thought the women would still come out on top. But Lil Jon, don't get fired. Lil Jon cannot be fired. But it was just very funny, and it was very entertaining, though. I have to say, it had a lot of humor in it. I thought the audience was going to be disgusted, because it's not an audience like us. It's an audience of businessmen, in which they actually were surprisingly entertainingly laughed. So they did brought a heck of a shock value, and I'm glad Lil Jon took a lot of risks, because he was original, and he was unique, so I have respect for him for what he did. Nay's task was too cliche, and it was very emotional and heartfelt. It was a tearjerker. It was a tearjerker. Because that was emotional because she's deaf, and they did the sign language together. They did the I love you. I don't know what the sign language was, but Marley was just phenomenal. Like, this was the best episode so far. I thought this was the most incredible episode. They just really tore the house down with that episode, but the men came out on top, which favored the men's team, which was just very surprising that the men are dominating so far. And I moved into my new house. Oh man, this is just very ironic. I have to say, this is just very ironic, to say the least, and I'm pretty surprised about that. So I'll see. I saw the sneak peek. Hopefully Gary Busey or Meatloaf get fired. I have to say, I'm very sorry about that, but it's time for them to go. And I think they don't need to be sticking around anymore. So what's the use? I mean, they already won money for their charity, but hopefully, Nene Taylor, gets a win in the future. I think she needs to raise money for a charity. So that would be incredible, though. So, yes, I am the Red Dog Extreme. Sorry for this long video. If I made it way too long, that's just a lot of thoughts I want to get out there. So, anybody who's fans of Celebrity Apprentice, please watch this video, and peace out.